left a little bit early. I was feeling kind of tired. Oh, three people already. Well, whoa. I came back a little bit earlier than expected. Five. Make sure I can see all my chats. There we go. Zach, do the dragon. You want to see a dragon? I can't do it for that long. You guys probably don't know this, but I actually used to manufacture vape liquid back in 2015 and 2016. I used to know some of the high-end vape crowd. It's all kind of on Instagram, but let's turn this light off. So we're shooting for some food eventually. It's about an hour to Cape Coral, but it's an extra 15 minutes to the house because I don't live like right at the border of the town. So watch Jeopardy with my mom. I got Final Jeopardy right. I mean, I'm on point right now. So since this is a longer stream, I'm totally up for like any stories you guys want to hear. I can tell many things within reason. I can tell you stories about me like hosting the French Palm Society, La Fou des Palmiers. I can tell you about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to know about. Tell you about germinating 2000 carpoxylon back when it was virtually unknown. The best palm I ever grew. What do you mean, like a really rare palm I grew well, or like the best looking palm? My favorite palm that I ever had in my yard, like sort of thing. Be a little more specific, I guess, there. Hey Ryan, what's up? I have used coconuts before. Yes, I bought a special coconut grinder that like suction cups to your counter. I actually bought it from India back when they didn't, before Amazon carried it back in 2005. Most amazing. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of uses for coconut. I mean, you can use everything. I actually did use it as a drink cup for a little while. They kind of break down after a while. They're not very good as like a multi-use situation, but like 2 or 3 uses they'll work. Usually when you get them, they've been like varnished, or they put a coating on it that keeps them watertight. So I'm gonna try and see if there's any mixed game action available when you're down. I'm gonna check Bravo, and I'm playing a couple WSOP super satellites just for the lulls. I think if I were to win, I'm probably just gonna sell it. I'm not really a big fan of. I'd eat them. I used the grater. It just had like, it looked like an egg with like blades on each side, and you just put it in the coconut, an open coconut, and just turn it like you were milling it almost. So, but yeah, I like playing like $65 to $130 tournaments and just like winning a seat to like the mega satellite, which is 1100. We have them here in town. A Malaysian dwarf. People have asked me that about a lot. The best place to get it from is Malaysia, but the USDA will come after you. But if you want, I don't know if the USDA is open except for like, most basic staff, so I don't know what to tell you. Are you guys familiar with the Makapuno coconut? The one that has like a pudding on the inside? It has a genetic defect where it doesn't harden off the fruit, or the meat inside, I should say. Because coconut doesn't really actually have fruit. It has meat. The fruit would refer to the outer part of the exocarp, basically meaning everything outside of the seed. Then you have the endocarp, which is everything inside the seed. carp meaning shell or seed or covering in Greek. So when you hear something like Chambronia macrocarpa, it means large seed. Yeah, right. The USDA is not very. I have to do business with them because I have permits to basically sell anywhere. I could have made that goddamn late. Instead, I gotta get stuck in this. The variety is called Macapuno, Macapuno. Now, be careful because people will claim to sell the variety, and hold on a sec here. I'm gonna have to message that guy back. All right. Yeah, I imagine they don't. People are really. I had a friend. He asked a favor of someone else to send him a coconut, and he didn't have any permits for it, and he paid for it. I forgot someone else paid for it, but the USDA came knocking on his door demanding they destroy it. So yeah, the flamethrowers, they aren't the fastest growers. If you're looking for some nice pinnate palms, I would go with like king palms or Arconta Phoenix. They really have, and some Arconta Phoenix have a copper to what's it called? What's that rose kind of colored emergent leaf? Hey, hello IOU. The fastest dwarf palm. Like dwarf version of a regular palm or just a small palm? I mean, pygmy dates are pretty fast considering their how small they are. By nature, dwarf palms aren't that fast because they still take a decent amount. I mean, sable minors are pretty fast considering it only takes them 5 years to mature. So. Here, I'm gonna do a little poker jargon just to Ryan, just to give him a recap because he asked about a big hand I got involved in. So Ryan, I had 7, 8, 9, 9, and I called a 3-bet on the button because I was in the straddle, and the flop was 7, 8, 9. So like obviously, yeah, I flopped top set, but am I gonna get action from a whole lot worse? Not really. Like I gotta hope someone else has another like middle or bottom set, which I block, obviously. And so action goes bet, call. I'm sorry, no, bet, raise. It was like 50 pre-flop, and the guy bets like 20 into 50, which is ridiculous. 3 ways and PLO out of position. Anyway, the guy makes it pot, which is going to be it's going to be 40. I mean, it's going to be 90. No, pot is going to be 40, 60, 110. The guy makes it 110. I flat, and then the other guy just repots, and the other guy just shoves all in, and there's so much money in the middle that top set, even with the blocking boat redraws, I know someone has Jack 10. You know what I mean? Like that's like guaranteed, basically. I mean, if they don't have Jack 10, they have 6-10, or if they're really dumb, they have 5-6. But someone has me beat, and oh yeah, Danny, I'll tell you that in a second. Anyway, yeah, I'm up against Jack 10 in a 3-way all in. I'm up against Jack 10 and pocket 7s, and right on the turn I drill an 8, running at one time. I sucked out. I was even blocking my own outs, but it was just so dirty. No one was expecting it. So there was someone else had a flush draw to go with the Jack 10 with a flush, not the nut flush, but a flush redraw. They had Jack 10 Queen 5 with Queen high hearts, There's two hearts on there. Anyway, I mean, if it were like like a 5K pot, I wouldn't have called knowing I probably wasn't getting the right price to like, considering I was blocking two of my own outs and I knew I was behind. I don't know if I have the right price there. I mean, I'd have the best redraw, but anyway, thought you might like that. So Daniel, the movie I mentioned yesterday is actually the movie Rounders with Matt Damon and what's his name, Edward Norton. It's actually a poker movie. It's about playing underground poker. It's kind of what spurred the whole poker boom like 15, 20 years ago. It's that John Malkovich is actually the guy that says it. He says it in a Russian accent. I don't do a very good one, but he says, "Ah, yes, like a little boy coming out to the fields for a quickie." I'm sure Ryan knows most of that movie. So. And to add to that story, yeah, Rounders is a good movie. I remember the first time I saw it was on an airplane. I was flying back from snowboarding at Timberline in Mount Hood in Oregon. I'm not going to make this light. And they're like, we're going to have Rounders. This is like February of '99. And I'm like, what is this movie? So I like, this is before they had like the in-screen stuff. And I was 17. No. Yeah, I was just turned 17. I was like, this is a pretty cool movie. I was flying from Portland to Chicago and then Portland to Pittsburgh. No, Portland to Chicago, Chicago to Islip, which is like Long Island. But I flew to Chicago from Islip on the way there. It's a good question, Zach. I won Pollo Tropical, and I talked to Ashley, and she's like, she doesn't like pollo. I told her about Arby's, and she's like, I don't really want to eat garbage. She finally understands that it's garbage. She's from Indiana. I mean, her family's from Indiana, so that like I feel like her palate is more like blander food. No offense to people from Indiana, they tend to not be into like ethnic cuisine. They tend to eat like all American food, which is fine. It's just that I find it bland. Pollo has good seasoning. I like Cuban food. I like Asian food. I like Latin American and Asian food essentially. But anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, you got to ask for dinner. So there's a chance I might go to Wawa because it's right next door to Pollo, and I am going down that road. So I was doing a little bit of a new method. It's not really like a discovery. It's just something I'm trying to do with. Oh, here, I'll answer this. Go to Ada's. I'm sure there's some places worth going to. I almost rode my motorcycle up to your area, like near there's a lake there, the Mississippi-Tennessee border, where Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama. I forget the name of it though. Do I never follow Mick May Palm Nursery on Instagram? No, I haven't checked it out, but I will for sure. My Instagram's kind of boring at the moment. I wish I had more. I might just start posting stuff from them. Like, I have much better pictures from like the past 10 years than I do the past 6 months, unfortunately. I just haven't really gone many places. Pickwick Lake, that's it. I almost rode my motorcycle up there, but I had a Honda Shadow 750. It wasn't like really meant for highway travel. It like after 55 miles an hour, it doesn't have the torque. Oh, hey Chicago. No, I don't. I have to talk to my friend who lives there. He works at a Palmedum there. I don't know the name of it, but I can look it up and I can get it. I'm sorry. I know you emailed me. I really apologize. But hey, James, welcome back. If there's a couple, if Ryan, if there's a couple guys you want to follow that are poker players down here on Instagram, there's a guy named Crick City, like Cricket. He's played at a couple of the home games I played in. He's a pretty good player. He's been on Live at the Bike too. He's kind of like, I mean, he's a good 5'10" player, and Corey Williams also plays. My mom's doing good. My mom took 50 steps today. So so to make it a little more clear, because I go up here so much, my mom, well, she's 66 now, but she was 65, and she had her own apartment that you guys saw in Sarasota that I would stay at, and for like half the week or whatever. And on my sister's birthday last year, she fell, and she had been sick for a while, and she was brought in for they took her into the hospital. Basically, they diagnosed her with a syndrome called Guillain-Barré, which is like a nerve disease, and she was starting to go like downhill, like as far as her hands and leg movement. Like her body was okay. I mean, for the most part, like the infection can hurt your heart and cause breathing problems. But it's a viral thing. It's unknown. There's no really straightforward cure, but it can take a long time. Andy Griffith actually had it, so and it took him a while to recover. So she's going through physical therapy now. I'm optimistic about it. I don't want to get too far ahead, but she's really proud. She posted on Facebook that she took these steps. She was happy to see me, and we watched Jeopardy, and then I was kind of tired. She wanted to watch her show, but if you can spend a half an hour with your mom, it's totally worth it in my opinion. So yeah, it's weird. When I saw those pictures, Daniel, I thought they were almost just showing up in habitat. Maybe there's some animal that somehow breaks. I don't know. That would seem unlikely considering how armed they are. The port there, I mean, I see that in where you live, there's you have a town, and you have a port near the town. I don't know if the town was built around the port or the port was built around the town, but I'm sure they go hand in hand there. But it could be someone brought some seed, and who knows? I mean, those palms will do well in your area. They're used to hot, dry conditions with groundwater. Like Bismarckia's been even more drought tolerant. So they did look very nice. It's got to be. I saw that your highs and lows are also fairly extreme. Anyway, so I started this with the baggie method for the Livistonas, and what I've done now that it's pretty. Oh boy, I'm right in cop territory. I'm not really speeding, but that doesn't really matter. I took the baggies. I put moss in them like I normally would, but instead of the heat mat, because it's been 80 Fahrenheit, I just put them out in front of the garage, laid them on the ground, and I checked them out at the end of the day, and it was probably 95 in the bag, which is perfect for those seeds. I wouldn't do that to a tropical seed because they're so temperamental, and they put up a spike right away, and I don't want to melt that or rot it. But those big Livistona, Copernicia, all those ones in that complex can handle that kind of heat. The only one that really can is Lickawalla. Lickawalla is actually related to Copernicia and Livistona, if you can believe it. Here's a little fun trivia for you. I don't really have anything it's not going to be a giveaway, but I can only think of two of these, but there are two palms that are most remote germinating palms are palmate. I can think of two pinnate ones off the top of my head. One's relatively easy, the other one's extremely hard. If you can get the hard one, then you can come do these vlogs with me. Australian mega trucking. might have to check that out now. I've been watching Shipping Wars for the past couple days. Vicia. Vicia is not one now. There, I'll tell you this: neither one of them has a crown shaft. They are both relatively. One is a little more tropical. One is very common in almost all landscapes that have palms. Now, Penanga is an adjacent germinator. It's on Netflix. Okay, I got Netflix. Once I'm done watching Shipping Wars. Well, sables are pinnate. I'm sorry, sables are palmate. I'm talking about pinnate, like feather leaf palms that are remote germinators. There's only a few of them. Like I said, I can only think of two right now. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I can think of 3, 4, 5, at least a half dozen genera. So there we go. Prove myself wrong. Just I didn't think about it too much. Chamaedorea is an adjacent germinator. Yep. Pindo is one of them. Butea. Yeah, pretty much anything in the Butea complex. So I'm gonna go ahead and just. I didn't even think about this complex. Butea, Syagris, Jubea, Jubaeopsis, Lidocarium. Man, I really messed up this whole pinnate remote germinator thing. Pseudococcus, Syagris pseudococcus. Oh, you watch? Yeah, you follow Crick City. He's weird, half the time, he's sitting there smoking in his car and everything, and he's rapping to himself. But he has some funny posts, like, when he posts some like really weird hands. He's very quiet in person though, but he's a good player. Yeah, I could see that if you had stuff coming in from like Afghanistan, the Middle East. Hyphaenians definitely grow in that area, or near that area, at least I should say. Yeah, his chip stacks. He is like pretty like he's 100% backed, so he will play like higher stakes. Those are mostly 5-10 games in Bonita. They're pretty good. I mean, and 2-5. They're pretty good games. I have a guy that's like literally like right on my tail. There's really no reason for that because like the light was red. Here he comes again. He's like a creeper. The light's red. I'm not gonna like speed up to get there. No, Zach. There's no. There's no palm that will hybrid. That's palmate because they're just not even closely related, unfortunately. The closest relation between a pinnate and a palmate palm is actually Phoenix with like sables and stuff like that because they're all in the coryphoid complex. So it's kind of weird. You have like sable, Copernicia, Pritchardia, Livistona, Washingtonia, Licuala, and then you have then you have Phoenix. It's just a very weird like complex. This guy really tailgated me to get to the Keeler dealership. Very unnecessary. I tend to just kind of browse all of them. I actually watch Banana Joe's, a couple of his videos today. But most intergeneric hybrids are going to be like Syagris and Butea. A lot of the Butea complex will hybridize, which makes you think that they're all just one big genus anyway, which makes sense. getting some seeds out of South America, though. Some interesting. Cyagrus is an overlooked genus because everyone thinks it's just a queen palm, but there are so many cool species of Cyagrus that are dwarf. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Whenever I watch, hey, whenever I watch Shipping Wars, it makes me want to haul stuff, but this truck only hauls like 5,000 pounds, so. I'm in the fast lane. I'm doing 10 over, and I got nothing. I'm just gonna get in the lane just so. I've seen. I'll tell you some other channels. There's Plant Spotter 69. I don't know who that is, but he sounds familiar, and he seems to have a couple of unusual species on there. I don't know if he still posts videos, but he's got some cool stuff. There's another guy. There's a guy that used to post like advertisements for palms out of his like nursery, but it was so weird. It was like, you can't beat these great deals. Like, you can't beat someone with a pitchfork. It was like so odd. Only in Florida would that like get people to go buy palms or buy stuff, period. Like, these deals are killing me, and he like choke himself out on the ground. Oh, he does. Okay, yeah. I mean, I probably know the name. I don't know if I've met him, but he does have some good. I mean, he has some cool plants there, and he. I mean, I know he's in like he's on the East Coast near Merritt Island or Cocoa Beach, and I recognize where the plants are. I just don't know who that actually is. But he's not like, he knows he seems to know what he's talking about. Large number pricing. Oh, Chris, the guy that was posting like advertisements, his name was Ken. I don't know. He said he was going out of business. He was in St. Petersburg. He sold other tropicals too, but he's like, I've got these queen palms here for $100, and if you want the queen of all palms, and you come and get it, and I'll even do 2 for 175. And like, it's like, okay, a weird way to advertise. I agree. The thing is what got me started with this channel was not only wanting to like do like educational things about palms and show people like there are more than just like 15 species of palms out there, but I found a lot of like the big gardening channels like This Home Garden that have like 300, 400,000 subscribers, is they'll show you how to pot up like one palm. It says like how to pot up a palm, and it's really not that simple. Just pot up like there's 4,000 species. They're not all potted up the same way. And they'll show you like one way to do it with like the easiest palm you can do it with. And like the guy has like everything's done professionally and edited. And I mean, that's good. I mean, it's nice that it's edited, but he's like, here, just shimmy it out of the pot and put it in this pot and put some of this type of soil on. They obviously are like, shilling some kind of soil, which probably is not that great for that palm. I saw a lot of mistakes, in my opinion, with like the big channels. And I did see like Banana Joe, and I think I saw Plant Spotter like posting stuff, and I was like, I might as well try it. Like, what is there to lose? My dignity, maybe. Brantley palm. That sounds familiar. There's a couple not so glorious palm dealers in Florida, and I mean, there's, I was going to do a video on like 5 things to look out for when you're buying like a palm, and One is like weird, shady sales tactics because no one should do that. I tell people like where this usually where the seed came from and how if I grew it from seed or if I bought it as a seedling and what to watch out for. Yeah, I mean Kenny. Oh, so you guys have seen that video with Kenny? It's weird, but I mean he's funny in a weird way. Hey, Daniel, you might know the answer to this. You know how Nissan makes a pickup for you guys in Australia? What is the name of that mid-size pickup? It's a small. It's like a four-door pickup or two. Sometimes it's two-door, but it's like the same size as my pickup, but it's a Nissan. It's like a Toyota Hilux, but a Nissan essentially. Because I know that's what like we call the Tacoma here in the U.S., but the Hilux is what it is, or the. Do you, there are some couple like I've heard some bad things about. I mean, I hate to say it, I think Tai nurseries. I've heard it's been like kind of like weird, and their growth, like their nursery is kind of like I just heard bad things about them. Like I'm not trying to, like I'm not a nursery at the moment, so I'm not trying to like put down like competition because I don't even grow trachees, really. But prices seem a little high. Best trachees are probably found like in North Florida. There's a lot of nurseries up there that grow it. Some guys in Louisiana and Texas. That's where I would buy my trachees from. Yeah, I don't even know if Tai is still in business. They used to be like relatively reputable. And the thing is, they ship it in such a nice like box that it works out well. Yeah, that's why I think North Florida is the best place to get them. There's some big farms out there. I don't know their names, but they don't grow well down here, so I wouldn't get it like a Fortunii. A Wagnerianus, yeah, it's fine. It's the only trachea that does like really well here. So there's a Wawa right there, but it's too far. I mean, if I order something from there, it's going to be warm or cold, the opposite of what I want by the time I get home. So I'm still 40 minutes out. I don't have any experience with Tai. That's just what I've heard. So I can imagine that like they probably still have pretty good customer service. I don't. I just saw a lot of bad Google reviews. That's all. And if I think a place is like really shady, like I'm going to call them out. Like I have no problem doing that. And if anyone ever thought I was really shady, I'm sure like you would hear about it too. So, but I'm not worried about that. West American Wawa Agency. Yeah, I saw the new Ranger. Finally, Ford decided to go ahead and enter like probably the most popular truck segment. I mean, not the most popular, but a very popular vehicle segment in the United States. My uncle has like a mint condition like 2010 Ranger. They need to get rid of that 3-liter Vulcan engine though. That thing is such a like it's such a dog. Yeah, that's the Nissan Navara. That's what it is. Yeah, that those twin turbos you guys get over there, gas or diesel, we don't get that. We don't get any diesels. We get a 2.4 liter 4-liter 6. The KA24 that comes in so you guys get Nissan Skylines too. It's just so unfair, like the old Skylines, not the G. Though I would get a Duramax. The Nissan Titan diesel really isn't like, I don't know. I've been inside one. It looks really cool at first, but when you get inside, it's like it doesn't really do anything that well. I had a guy buy like 8 mature cycads for me. They're actually all from northern Australia, like Cycas ophiolitica, Cycas kennediana from Cape Kennedy, and a couple like southern Chinese cycas. I mean, these were like, 500 to 1,000 pounds a piece. And he had a Chevy Duramax, and he had a trailer with him. And I was like, the thing was so packed full of like macrosamias and cycas. I'm like, dude, this thing has to be overweight. I'm like, this trailer can't load more than like 15,000 in it. It's like, well, I mean, he's like, I'm technically not in a commercial driving situation. I'm like, yeah, dude, but I mean, like, you're gonna kill your truck. He's driving like back to Texas, and that Duramax would just fucking pull it like it was nothing. It was crazy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just used to light duty trucks, so. Yeah, Washingtonians, when they're ugly, man, they're like really, really ugly. That's the problem. I mean, well-grown Washingtonians are nice looking plants, but I like to filter out some of my like views on some of the more common palms that I don't think are very good looking. But any palm can look nice if it's well grown, in my opinion. Oh, we're not stopping for this. This guy right here obviously didn't stop for it. My temperature now is 68 degrees. That's in Port Charlotte. It's probably 71, 72 in Cape Coral. Oh yeah, no, I could imagine. I mean, a 1500 can usually pull between 8 and 10,000 depending on transmission gear ratios, that sort of thing. I've never had a heavy duty or a medium duty truck. The biggest vehicle, I guess the truck with the biggest towing capacity I ever had was, I don't know, probably my Toyota Land Cruiser. I don't even know what the towing capacity was, but I had that thing loaded to the gills with palms, driving through the Everglades, hit like a 50-mile-an-hour storm, and like I couldn't get out of third gear, like it was just blowing it sideways. It's scary, but the Nissan Patrol. Yeah, we call it it's called the Nissan Armada here in the U.S., but you guys have had it for many more years than we have. We had the old style Armada or Patrol, but it's just called the Armada here. I don't know why they have to change the name because the Patrol seems fine to me. But it's geared more towards like a big family than it is like off-roading, and I'm sure you guys use it for its intended use, where in the U.S. it's meant to put like 6 children in and like 4 DVD players. So, and we didn't get it until like 2016 or 2017, where you guys I think have had it for like at least 6 or 7 years. So. I do know who Albert Livingston is in Homestead. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he's a nice guy. When I can remember, he's a pretty nice guy. Yeah, I don't think Washingtonian would cross a trachea. Albert has a lot of bigger palms, and he tends to deliver them too. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. I know that they have a place in Bradenton, I think, too. I think his wife is involved with that. No, her name's Casey. That's not his wife. Yeah, the skylines are awesome. There's one skyline in Cape Coral that was brought over to the U.S. legally. Through you have to wait till they're 25 years old, and then they can be given an American VIN. So it was like a '91 Skyline. It wasn't even. It was a 4-door non-GTR, but still, it was like cool enough for me to take a picture of it. I think there's Yeah, I imagine that cat could probably, do some damage to just about anything it ran into. What's going on here? He's getting bagged. That's kind of weird. I mean, it's good they're not letting him out into the atmosphere. But... Yeah, I mean, from my experience, I've never bought anything from Albert, but I've seen him at Palm sales, and like the what he kind of sells on is that he has nice, well-grown material for a pretty good price, and he will deliver too for the most part. I mean, like locally, obviously, Fort Trump or Northport isn't local to where he is. Okay, yeah, Zach, send me a video. One of my fellow poker friend, well, he's not a poker professional, but he plays Omaha with me. Ryan might like this. And actually, I had two friends, and one has a BMW M3, the latest generation. I was like, hey man, what would it cost for me to borrow that from me for a day? He's like, man, if you want to borrow it, man, I'll trade you for your Honda Ridgeline. It's like, I need to haul some things anyway. And my buddy's like, well, what about? He's like, you want a real race car? I'm like, well, what is he talking about? An M3 is pretty fast. And he shows me a key fob for a Lamborghini. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, what you got going on there? He's like, it's a 2017 Huracan Spider, and it was like slate gray with a red interior, and it was like, I have some pictures of it too. And I was like, well, what are you guys like? I'm like, is that yours? Because I knew the guy only made he didn't make enough money to own a $320,000 vehicle, or 280. He's like, oh, it's my boss's. We're trying to do some high-end exotic rentals. It's like, usually we get between $800 and $1,400 a night. And I'm like, I'm not paying that for it. I'm like, I've never driven a Lamborghini. I've been in one, but there's a new Ford Explorer. Oh, that's not the brand new one. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, I know how to drive it, but so he's like, you want to take it for a spin around the block? And I was like, I've never said yes to anything so fast before. Getting in that car is it's like a rocket ship. I mean, you sit in it and it's like, you can't go anywhere. The only thing you can do is operate it. And I had it in Corsa mode, so I wouldn't mess it up. And it lets you just kind of shift through the gears, but it'll correct you. And dude, the thing is so fast. I mean, I don't even know how to explain. And not to mention, when you drive down the road, everybody and all the small animals in the ground are staring at you when you drive that thing around. I took it around the block, and I got up to 85 because I really didn't want to lose my license that night. For a split moment, I got up to 85. So, but getting to drive that Huracan was pretty sweet. Ding, ding, ding. No, and IHOP, I'm not feeling. The thing about IHOP is if I get takeout, it's gonna be no good by the time I get home. I used to eat at Waffle House, but Waffle House has no healthy options, and I really have to kind of try and lose weight here. So, but yeah, I mean, a Skyline, I would, a lot of people would pay double the value of a. I mean, if I saw a Skyline that was in good shape for less than 10 grand, I'd probably buy it. I'm not going to spend $20,000 on a car that doesn't have a whole lot of you can't just go get your oil change in a Skyline. I mean, you can if it has the KA24, but other parts for it, not to mention it's right-hand drive, so that's going to be awkward to I'm getting a call from someone that works at the place I just talked about that I didn't want to talk about anymore, so. It's 9:15 at night. It's kind of rude, to be honest. He doesn't. You guys can call me at 9:15, but they can call me when. Waffle House home with Jelly Roll. This sounds so familiar. I don't know why. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be buying Lambos with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were to go to 100K. I woke up one day in December of 2017. I was trading on Coinbase, and like I was like seeing how much of a fee I get charged for using a credit card to buy some coin, because it was like instant versus like using your bank, because it was so volatile. I didn't want to like wait 7 days. It's kind of long to trade to hold your money that long. So my bank account. So I was like checking it out, and I accidentally bought $1,000 worth. Thankfully, it went up, but still, it was like an 8% charge. It was ridiculous. Like, I ended up just breaking even on that deal. I just held out on it. It went up and down, then it went way up, and I mean, I guess I could have made like a couple grand if I had held it to its top, but. I got a lot of text messages. Hey Mark, welcome to the stream. Butias, depending on where you live in Florida, in Miami, they actually don't even grow that well. But Butias used to be a staple of like the central and a lot of like Southwest Florida landscape. You see Butias in the yard. It's usually a sign of a house that's been around for at least 30 years. But once like Queens and other palms like that kind of were faster growing, easier maintenance, less issues like crown rot, Ganoderma came around, like foxtails, they got replaced. So now they're kind of just considered like less desirable. I still like them as a palm, like when they're well grown. When they're ugly, they are really ugly though. They can get chlorotic. So yeah, I mean, once you get your money on Coinbase, you can go to any exchange and it's fine. But like when you get your money on the Coinbase, it was just, being a fellow poker player, obviously, I'd say like what 90% of like non-recreational poker players are probably done some sort of crypto trading to a decent extent. So there's a place I haven't taken you guys before. Yeah, and sometimes there's like some shorter, like stricter. Wait, hold on a sec. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Since we're right here, right now, we're gonna do it. I left a little bit earlier than I was going to for my mother, so I got a few extra minutes. And I can't really creep much. This is a guy that I don't talk to anymore because I'm pretty sure he stole a number of Cycads from me. Oh, this is the wrong. No, this is the wrong turn. No. I gotta look at the roads here. No, this is the right turn. That's not the right. That's a new house. It just looks out of place. Look for a lot of rare. Well, there's some Copernicus in there the last time I checked. But this guy, I'm not going to put his name out there, but I showed him a lot about how to grow palms and cycads, and then he got really weird and tried to like steal my contacts and stuff. So let's see what we can do here. No, that's not it. Putting his address kind of on blast, but here we go. Pretty sure this is, yeah. See these date palms right here? I'm gonna make a U-turn and face. See that Falence? You guys see that right on the right? Hopefully he's not home. He doesn't know that I have this truck, but oh no, I don't chop down palms unless it's necessary. But this is like a triangular kind of U-turn thing. So I'm gonna kind of just creep, and we're gonna look at. Oh, that's an old Triumph Spitfire. You don't see those very often. I'll tell you about this guy, but look at his palms first, and then luckily with my brights on, we can kind of just creep here. But he has an extra parcel of land here where he has some copernices, some bamboo. You can see there's one phallus. See that second phallus right there? That's nice. You know what that goes for in the market if it's properly dug? It's like a $4,000 or $5,000 palm right there. Yeah, no, I agree, Daniel. It's definitely true. Anyway, so this guy, I'll tell you this story if you guys want. I mean, I guess some of you may want to hear it, some of you may not. But I don't fish, not because like this, I was never taught how to fish because my dad wasn't really a fishing guy. He was like a bond trader, so you know, he was a cyclist, so bicycles is like his thing. Anyway, so this guy, we'll call him Mr. V. Mr. V contacted me through email when I just got back from Fair Trials. This is like January of 2009. And he, my mouth is parched. Hold on a second here. He was like, yeah, I know, you're into palms and cycads. You should come by my place here. And, he lives about a half an hour away from where I used to live, maybe 40 minutes. So I came down and it's like, oh, I have these connections, in Fort Myers, and they want some cycad work done. So I went to them, and like, they weren't offering any money, but they were offering like pups off of the really big pups, which are worth money. So I went down there and I did that, and they're like, yeah, you take this. And like, so then as soon as I did that, he's like, well, since I told you about this, like, can I have like the big pup? And I'm like, no, you can't have the big pup. Like, I did all the work. Like, you can have one of the pups, but like, I sat down there. It took me 2 hours to take one pup off. So I built my nursery down on Pine Island. I drive down from Venice. It's an hour and a half drive. And I'd actually have him drive down and check on it. And then like things started disappearing from the nursery. I kind of asked him about it, and he kind of brushed it off. And then I had someone like, check up on him, and things were missing. So I told him, don't worry about it. We're all good, meaning like done. And the last time I saw him, he tried to dig a copernicia out of my yard. I was like, you got to pay me for it. It's going to be cheap, but I'm pretty sure it didn't live. Or there might be one that did live there, but he's got some cool plants. I mean, he's not a contact. He's got really bad negative feedback in the palm world, so I don't really care. Yeah, we can call him Valentino. He was a pharmaceutical sales rep. He lost his job, so he's kind of like finding another line of work, and he was working in some organic market last time I heard, but then I went there and they said he doesn't work there anymore, so I'm pretty sure he got fired. So just some of my run-ins with, I didn't realize there was that many types of catfish. Yeah, I mean, but then there are guys like, you probably have seen Rusty on my vlog back from like 2016, 2017. Best guy in the world. He offered me his place to keep my palms there. And, there's a lot of great people. Like, I can name, for every bad person in the Palmer, I can name 10 good people. It's just that Jeff Marcus, even though he can be grumpy, is still, he is like the godfather. He has such a great garden. They do have it a little bit easier in Hawaii, though. It's very easy to grow plants there. So, Jeff Searle. Oh, we passed the adult store. I was going to show you. Oh, you guys might don't want to see that anyway. That adult store back there, it doesn't sell toys. It sells movies, and it has booths in the back where you pay money to watch a video. And I could just leave it to your imagination what you do in the booth. So. There are no toys. What about Zamia? I like growing Zamias because most of them don't have bad spines on them. Yeah, so you kind of get the idea. And I've never heard of like one of those in Florida, but I mean, you would think with the internet these days, you wouldn't have to go to a place like that. Anyway, I'm sure that's all we need to talk about that topic on a live stream. It's out in the middle of nowhere, as you can see, but I mean, I was kind of curious about the place, so I checked out the Google reviews, and someone like asked on the reviews like, "Can I bring my wife with me?" And the person responded like, "You can, but you can't be in the same booth." Guys at Tai Tai drive you nuts. So yeah, I mean, I know that it isn't. It has a weird reputation, and I haven't heard like the best things about them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're illegal in Tennessee and Alabama, Mississippi, that area. Your coonties died. Did they get too wet? Because that's really the only way that they can die. I've left coonties bare root laying on the ground for 6 months. Just laying there. I mean, they would get water, but they were just hanging out. I don't know if we're talking about the same plant. Bare root palms can be fine. Large ones is a real tricky science. Okay, yeah, you could have swamped them out. They don't really like getting swampy. It's like the one thing they don't do. Yeah, transplant shock. Jeff Marcus does a pretty good job of it. You know, I've shipped a number of palms. There's certain palms I won't ship because of they will shock a lot more than the others. So I think I'm gonna go to Pollo because you guys see Wawa way too much. And Ashley likes her mashed potatoes, so I'm gonna get her mashed potatoes. A big thing of it. That's her palate is like, you know, fast-made mashed potatoes. I don't blame you, Chris. I don't like buying palms bare root. I will buy from Jeff, but even then I do lose a lot of them. Not a lot of his palms, but like it's expected to lose some. If you have good draining soil, James, you shouldn't have a problem, but yeah, you can definitely overwater them. They can get rot. And Bobby mentioned I should probably do a video on that. I just got to find a good rotted palm that I can talk about. Anything up to a 1 gallon is not. It's not. The shock isn't as bad. The big palms, though. I don't know if you guys know about this, but now before I forget, there was a guy in Missouri. God, what was his name? He has videos on YouTube too. Look up Missouri cold hardy palms. That wasn't the name of the place, but okay, I will for sure. I'll tell her that, Bobby. Thanks. But he would have these videos of like, you can grow your own tropical garden in Missouri. He lived near like Branford, like near Joplin, Southwest Missouri. I'm pretty sure he was really like, he would have these videos of like him in these like tie-dye tapestries talking about like, you know, weird gods and talking about how the palms were talking to him. And I'm pretty sure the only thing that was talking to him was his own head, because he was so methed out that, I mean, he was kind of laughed off of like the International Palm Society for him. I think in the end he meant well. Like he would like he would like in his vlogs he would have his mom be like, I bought some palms for my son and they're doing great. It's like, well, are you gonna put a bad review on there of your son on there? And if you do, would he bother putting it on YouTube? Oh, it stinks. There's a big dump right to the right of me here. It smells like Ashley's farts. But yeah, look it up. His videos are still on there, I imagine. They were on like a year ago. I don't mean to trash someone on YouTube, but it was like such a joke. Yeah. You guys would be surprised what Ashley's capable of. Middle of the night, waking me up. Yeah, Zach, I don't know if I can offer you that. Ashley wouldn't be very happy, even if I could offer you that. Yeah, you have to find them in the chat. Bobby, that's a good question. In Cape Coral, it doesn't, even though we're closer to like the source of it. But red tide kind of happens when the disgusting sewer water of the lake reacts with the seawater of the Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean, particularly the Gulf because it doesn't move as fast and is also warmer in the middle of the summer. Ah, Lady Palm, yeah. But in Venice, I've smelled it. It smells like dying fish as far as 10 miles away from the beach. And at my sister's house, it was like permeating to the point where I just got used to it. And that's when like the fish kills. But right now it says there's little to no. There's like a trace to nothing at all. It says the beaches are okay, but I don't know, man. I mean, we're almost back to warm weather again. And the rainy season starts in 3 months. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, it took 9, 10 months for this to clear up. It's just a travesty. I mean, Rick Scott got the moniker Red Tide Rick because of that. But it is pretty much gone as of right now, apparently. I mean, it says you can go swimming. People have gone swimming even when it was like at a medium level. I personally wouldn't go because I've met someone who's actually nearly died of like flesh-eating bacteria from the water. So yeah, paper mill, the smell of a paper mill is one of the worst smells ever. I stayed in a hotel in Perry, Florida, my trip back from Louisiana one time. And that place, it was a Hampton Inn too, like, so I had to actually pay like a decent amount of money for it. And I was like, man, like, what is that smell? And the receptionist is like, yeah, we have a paper mill, like in the nighttime it smells like this. I don't know, they must put some raw suit. It must be sulfur because that's what it smells like, but it's probably good fertilizer. PCA. What is PCA? I think of PokerStars Caribbean Adventure. So you have to tell me what that is. I actually, someone asked me that yesterday. I do eat the heart of palms when I have the chance. I've never heard of them, but there aren't any paper mills that I know of down here. Just the one in Perry, which is basically like right in the Big Bend area. It's near Tallahassee, so it's kind of in the Panhandle, basically. I'm surprised there are no Wawa in Atlanta. Probably because Racetrack's headquarters is there, so it's like a stronghold. I'll tell you that the racetracks are definitely hurting around here since Wawa showed up. Because Racetrack just can't offer the same things that Wawa does. I'm thinking about Wawa right now. It's like I really want it. It's not illegal to cut down a palmetto. I think that if you own land, you can cut down, as long as you can get a general permit to cut down stuff. I don't know if you guys can see those cycads there. And Bismarck's. It's palmettos are really not that protected because there's so many of them, even with all the development. Like, I wouldn't be worried about it. But I would leave the palmettos if I were to clear land. May I probably would take out some of the Serenoa, the saw palmettos. Oh, there's another fucking development. I've been making some pretty good time actually. It's only been an hour five, and all right. So what should I do? If I go to Pollo, I'm not going to make Ashley as happy as if I were to go to Wawa. You know what? I know a way to make her happy. Sarah Novo? What? Sarah Novo? I don't know what that is. There's really no restrictions on collecting wild seed. In fact, saw palmetto fruit actually there's an extract that's supposed to be good for prostate health. And you'll see like a lot of like migrant workers climbing around in bushes collecting the seed because it goes for like, I don't know, $7 or $8 a pound. Oh, okay. Serenoa is saw palmetto, like the bushy, it gets a trunk, but it's more of a low-lying palm that grows in the undergrowth, under canopy. Even though surprisingly it loves the sun, it just tends to grow underneath everything else. I know you guys in Australia have restrictions on collecting seed. You need special permits. Yeah, especially like cycad seed. Yeah, I should. Yeah, so saw palmetto, Serenoa is just a genus for saw palmetto. Can a cat palm do okay in full sun? Actually, yes, it can, but you got to water it a lot, and you can't live in a very dry area. So, like, they do really well in Miami because Miami is cloudier than it is here. They don't do as well in full sun here. Okay, actually, I mean, as long as you're not living in the desert, they'll do okay in full sun. Serenoa, yeah. Sorry, I probably should have just like phonetically thought about it, just gone from there. I mean, Ashley said she didn't want Arby's. I don't know. I'm just gonna get her some mashed potatoes. Make it easier on her. Dead animal, just a palm frond. I don't ever grow saw palmetto because you need a lot of room to grow them, and they don't carry as much value as some other palms. But I do collect seed of like this really silvery type. I have it in around October. Dihydrogen monoxide, I love it. I drink it. I pour it all over myself. I put it in my truck. I go swimming in it when I get the chance. I had a salad for lunch, so I don't really want a salad for dinner. Hold on, guys. I gotta give Ashley a call. I'll be right back. It's gonna pause. I just want to make sure that I told her I would call her when I was getting close. I don't. All right, there we go. Yeah, Chris, I don't use root hormone. The only time I use rooting hormone is on cycad pups. I find that rooting hormone can often be a little bit too. I think that fertilizer does just fine, like time release. And it can work on like growth, like more soft tissue stuff, but on palm, like I just don't really think it does a whole lot. Alright, so we are going just to Pollo. So you guys get to see the drive-thru at Pollo for... It's been a while. I've been kind of boycotting it since they did me wrong in Miami. But it's about time I gave them a chance again. There we go. Perfect timing. Usually I'm approaching this from the right-hand side of the screen. But I'm coming from the north, not the west. So. Chicken on the grill. They have such a happy-looking chicken for a mascot, even though it gets cooked every day. You would think that they wouldn't be that happy. No line, no problem. Oh, wrong. Yes, can I get the roast pork platter with 2 sides? Can I get black beans and white rice and boiled yuca? Yes, can I get, do you guys have small and large sides of mashed potatoes?
We're actually all out of mashed potatoes at the moment.
You are?
I'm sorry, did you say a quarter chicken or a half?
Roast pork platter.
Oh, I'm sorry. With rice, black beans, and what else? Boiled yuca?
Boiled yuca, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any more mashed potatoes.
Okay, all right, then don't worry about that. I'll just get the pork.
Would like a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay, that's $8.19.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot to ask. Can I get a couple of garlic cilantro sauces? Can I get a couple of the garlic cilantro sauces? All right, thanks. Oh yeah, I know there is a Pollo in I'll tell you guys in a second. Thank you. This is called yucca, but yucca is kind of the name for the plant. This yucca is actually not the same thing as yucca. It looks like a wrinkled potato. I mean, not when it's cooked. It doesn't. It looks more like looks like a string of potatoes. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, I know there's Pollos in Atlanta now. There was one in New York City, but I think it closed down. They tend to treat me like shit here, though. Because I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak fluent Spanish. I don't know if that's the case, but they seem to just... It's the case in Miami, but I love them anyway. So yeah, the yucca is the food, and yucca is the... Should get Ashley some Arby's. All right, thanks. Have a good one. Thanks. No, because it's not the same plant. I wouldn't eat them. In fact, if you eat these for like just out of the ground, they can actually be like poisonous. So I would not recommend that. All right, I want to. Oh man, what should I do here? Should I get Ashley? So I'm just gonna head out here. I should have just pulled out right. Oh well. Oh, it smells so good. Ashley just refuses to get anything from Pollo. She doesn't like it. She said she didn't want anything. So she's probably lying to me, and I'm gonna get it, you know. She's gonna get mad when I get home, but she'll end up eating just like a bowl of ice cream and some cereal anyway. Man, I'm so tired. I thought I wasn't even gonna make this trip because I was just feeling so. Oh, it's cold. It's hot in here now. Sorry guys, wasn't most entertaining of live streams, but hopefully I can do a live stream where I'm like going out to like a place that like the person has a garden, and I can, you know, show you guys, or I can do an elongated vlog. And palms. There's actually a lot of palms in the middle of the road. It's just hard to see. A lot of Threnix radiata. Which fan? What do you mean, which fan? Like the fan that's going bad in my car, my truck? A fan? Like it, yeah, like if I turn this up, like listen, hear that? It's one of the vent fans, so it goes on as if when the top AC goes on. So if I just want to vent AC down to my feet, then it won't. But I mean, this car's under warranty. I just got to get it fixed. Yeah, it kind of sucks, you know, but hey, they'll fix it for free. Just the crappy part is the dealership is in Venice, so the dealership here is in Fort Myers. It's at half an hour, 40-minute drive like the other way, and I never go over there, so I'm better off just going to the dealership when I get, you know. It's like living like Bobby, like where you live, and having to go to Alpharetta instead of like going to, say, like Decatur or something. El Pollo Loco? I don't know. That was a restaurant, wasn't it? I swear that was a restaurant. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if I can let Ashley. There's no line at Arby's. I've got coupons. I'm just gonna do this thing. I mean, how can you not pass up 3 classic roast beefs for $5? I really wish I just enjoyed like real food, but oh well. Oh, barbecue fries. Actually, she doesn't like those. She just likes the. She just likes getting the classic. Oh wow. What town is 2 hours away that you have to go to get a... Is that Broome? Is it 2 hours away?
Welcome to Harvey. Please order when ready.
Oh, sure. I have a coupon, 3 for $5 classic roast beefs. So
Right.
guys get 3 classic roast beefs, and that'll be it.
All right, it's going to be 533. We'll be happy to open the window.
All right, thanks. Right now I've got to like fondle through this. Oh wow, Broome is 6 hours north. I was just guessing because I knew that was a town there, but. Oh no. I hope they can. Hey, I just realized I either lost or already used the coupon.
It's not used.
You sure? Okay, I appreciate it, man. Sorry, the only one I have is the buy one get one free. I don't know.
It's all good.
Okay, thanks.
Sauce?
Okay, yeah, can I get some Arby's? All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I bought this car in like around October 1st of 2017 with no mile. Well, I had 240 miles on it, and now it has 20,300 on it. So that's about 32,000 kilometers in a year, basically a year, almost a year and a half, which is not that much, actually.
Where'd my receipt go? You pay with card, right, sir?
I did. I mean, if you can't find it, it's no big deal. I can.
No, I needed it for me.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Enjoy.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. All right. Yeah, my trip to Miami was 165 miles each way, so that is about. I'm just not. I'm good with converting kilometers to miles, so I think 100 miles is like 160 kilometers, so it's like 250, 260 kilometers each way, so I put like 500 Ks on the car each trip. That would be twice a month, so 1,000 kilometers. No, yeah, at least 1,000 kilometers, more like 1,300 just to Miami, and then. But that that has been going on for 9 months now. I wrote a very intense email to my client to explain the situation. Let's see if this guy follows the rules of the road. Nope. That's right. If I'm boring, you guys let me know, and I can always swerve back to Palms or whatever. I try and I'm tired and a little bit delirious, so I apologize. I haven't gotten a reply, which is funny because I would usually get a very quick reply right away, but I explained that I was very disappointed in his actions. I was polite about it, I was very disappointed in his actions to not come to me with allegations that I basically robbed him of his money. I mean, I'm willing to bring this out in the open because I know I'm in the right. I know that I did the work that he had asked, and for that work to all either disappear or claim to not ever be done, it's just I take pride in my work. So I listen to a lot of different types of music, Zach. I will listen to usually I listen to 90s alternative rock and old school hip hop. That's kind of my, I was born in 1981, so my years of getting into music was the 90s and early 2000s. So hey, SUA, Way. I know I always want to say Vey, I think it's a German name or something. You pronounce the W like a V. I'm almost home, so I apologize if you only get a few minutes of the stream. But I would play music, except for one, I couldn't hear you guys, and two, they don't copyright strike my video, but it's an infringement. So the money for the video, not that I make any money off these videos anyway, goes to the artist, which I guess it should in some form. Look at this, no lights. Look at this wanker with no lights. Really, dude? No lights? I mean, he's got his running lights on. We have a term in New York, we call those people. It's not really that bad of a term, but I'm not going to say it. So anyway, I didn't get a reply. I just said, the person that's now in charge didn't bother reading, doing any of the tutorials to learn how to use the software. It's kind of like using AutoCAD, but not learning how to use it and just saying, yeah, I know computers well enough, I'll figure it out. And then saying, I don't think that this house was built or designed. It's what would you know about it? Because you don't even know how it works. Or saying yeah, I know how to drive manual, and then coming back and saying oh yeah, the transmission's broken. It's well, since you don't know how to use a clutch, pretty sure you broke it. Anyway, I'm sorry that I vent about that, but some things, it's part of the life and times of being an independent consultant. A lot of my clients actually watch these videos too, but I doubt they watch the live stream. Idiots. He's a pretty smart guy. He runs a pretty successful business. He has dozens of businesses. He doesn't just run one. And one of his businesses is extremely successful. He's a very good businessman, and from what I've seen, but some of his decisions, either he just has no information on them at all, or just, is being hasty about it. I don't know, or just listens to this crazy lady from California, this orchid lady that thinks I invaded her property when I brought plants into the greenhouse. That's one other thing. I love orchids, but orchid people, little weird. Bromeliad people are cool. Croton people are awesome. Cycad people, a little crazy. Orchid people, real weird. Fruit people, depending on what kind of fruit you're talking about. they're some of the most laid back, cool guys ever. Some of the like real exotic fruit people get real like I get really egotistical about it. That's not one thing I don't ever want to do is get egotistical about it. Like I'm proud of what I do, but I'm not going to be like, yeah, I have this palm and you don't have it. I'd rather share it with everybody. But there's so many areas in the world, in the plant world, where people don't want to share. It's like, wait, do you want the plant to go extinct? Especially in the rare plant world. So. All right, so you guys, I'm home here. Let me just see what else everyone has said here. Bromeliad freak, yeah, they're sounds about right. Oh yeah, no, she wouldn't. She's never gonna watch this stream. I mean, she'll watch it once in a while, but she won't. Yeah, I'm not gonna categorize people on the stream. You know, I mean, not on this stream, but categorize people in general that are not on this stream. But bromeliads are cool. I mean, the bromeliad guys I know are some really cool, guys. The fruit people I know out on Pine Island, a couple great guys. I sell them coconuts all the time. So yeah, Daniel, it's nice seeing you. Nice talking with you. You know, it's nice to have like a worldwide sort of situation going on. We got people from California, people from Tennessee, India, often from Europe and Australia. So see you later, Bobby. See you, Zach. See you, Chris. And who else am I missing? Essay. I don't know if you ever gave me your real first name or your first name, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna try and get a vlog out of some type. So.